We are so excited to convene the Miami Tech Talent Coalition through Miami-Dade College with all these companies looking for tech talent, all the academic institutions in Miami, all going for the same objective of helping our local community get the skills to get a job. And that's what happened here today. The whole Tech Talent Coalition meeting, convening, sharing what's happening, sharing the latest, the great opportunities that are coming, and more importantly, the good stories. Like, we're already doing the job, we're already getting the students with jobs. How can we elevate, how can we scale to make it for everyone and really accessible to high-paying jobs?
Welcome. Do we not live in the best city in the world? Just gonna say that before hurricane season starts, but the mango trees are flowering and I'm very excited for what's to come. So my name is Karen Lavernia. I get to serve as the facilitator for the Tech Talent Coalition through our very small, tiny business called Lab 22C. I'm thrilled to be here, and our founder is here somewhere. You'll find him. Saif is around somewhere. We are thrilled to support this effort. I think, before there was Tay and Travis, there was the Miami Tech Talent Coalition, and so many people who fell in love with each other, with their businesses, with our academic institutions, with our training providers to build something truly impactful. So I'm gonna take 3 minutes to go over what we've done over the last year as part of the coalition, and then what we're doing as we enter this next phase. So in phase 1, there were a lot of meetings, okay? I think my count is we held 42 working group meetings. Can I see by a show of hands how many of you participate in working groups? Thank you. We love you. Thank you. And for how many of you is this your first Miami Tech Talent Coalition meeting ever? Okay, I'm looking at you because I'm gonna ask you to sign up for things. Maybe volunteer you to sign up for some things. But over the last year, we built 4 working groups based on data we collected at our launch in February of last year. The 4 working groups include small business capacity building, a working group that focuses on emerging tech talent, that's early talent that is also emerging technologies. We have a working group that focuses on looking at the tech skills gap locally, and we have a working group that focuses on thinking about building a really inclusive tech talent pipeline for our community. Those 4 working groups held 42 meetings. There are 251 active participants in those working groups. And then we held 5 in-person coalition meetings, one which included, I think, the world record for baseball puns. For those of you who are there, you know what I'm talking about. And each one of those meetings had a little over 100 attendees. So we know our community is interested in this space, thinking about this space. And this first year was really about bringing people together who normally just are not in the same rooms together to look for creative collisions. And those creative collisions created pilot programs, but they also created all kinds of business opportunities that honestly we weren't aware of. But many people have connected. There have been B2B relationships, new partnerships built, new curricula being built at our local universities, new training providers in the market, providing very quick credentialing programs to support people in getting from a classroom into a high-wage, high-growth job, which, although it's the best city of the world, we know how expensive it is to live here. So people need really great high-paying wages so we can keep our people here. As we enter phase 2, to Terry Ann's point, the things that keep us up at night are how do we really think about the people in this community and at scale get people from a classroom or from a gig economy type job into a really great career pathway. And so phase 2 of this program, we love all our working group members. I'm gonna put that out there. And everyone, the entire community is invited to in-person coalition meetings. We wanna feed you, we wanna give you coffee, we wanna make sure you get to build those relationships. Our working groups are gonna shift to be very strategic and small, where we have, if you just think about this, a table where you have a couple employers who are seeking tech talent, you have a couple of our university, college, and training providers at the table, and you have community-based organizations that can provide both a talent pipeline from neighborhoods, but also the wraparound services that people need to be able to get trained and get into great jobs. Those new working groups will launch next month. Those of you who've already been involved, we're going to keep you involved. Don't worry, you're not getting fired from a volunteer working group, we promise. But we really now want to get from a brainstorming discussion into real action planning to get people into these jobs. You will get many emails from the Miami TechWorks team over the next month to get engaged in this work. And ultimately, we want everyone in Miami to stay here. We want to bring more people here. Like I said, we're the best city in the world, but I don't necessarily say that as a joke. We have the opportunity to build really great solutions to challenges affecting the world, whether it's a talent challenge or it's a climate challenge, as you heard from Chessie. That's the next thing we're all going to be working on together. But we really have, this city is a miracle in and of itself, and we do have in our hands the power to really create a sustainable place where everyone can live and have great jobs. So thank you for being here. I saw those of you who raised your hands who haven't been involved. I'll talk to you. But thank you for being here this morning. We are now going to transition into amazing panels where you will hear about the real stories of what's been happening in this coalition over the last year. I want to welcome Kevin Robinson. Kevin is not just a project manager with Miami TechWorks. He's an amazing moderator and talker, and if you haven't already talked to him, you should talk to him. So Kevin is going to be moderating a panel on artificial intelligence and the career opportunities and trends.
So thank you all for coming. Good morning. I'm so happy. I'm so honored to be here and celebrate a one-year anniversary with I always say the amazing Terry Ann. I've just known her for so long, and just meeting her from the Levan Center, I really love what you're doing, so I just want to tell you thank you. So today's panel discussion, we are going to delve in the dynamic landscape of AI within the emerging tech sector, right? So when we think about emerging technologies, you just want to think about innovation and any that can help scale any sector, right? So first, I want to start with academia. What are some of the companies looking for? How are some of the schools changing like some of the curriculum and everything? Then we're going to get into AI and entrepreneurship. That's where Charles is going to come in. And then we're also going to, the last part, we're going to bring everything together. How are schools, large companies like AWS, and startups, smaller companies, how are we all going to work together? So Pedro, I would like to start with you. I called the super energetic and great colleague, Pedro Santos, who is the Executive Director of Emerging Tech. How do you see the demand for AI professionals evolve just across the different sectors? And what are the skill sets do you think these industry leaders or just some of these industries are looking for?
Well, thank you, Kevin, and welcome everyone to Miami Dade College and the beautiful Wolfson campus. We are pleased to have you here today. So, Kevin, great question. And one of the things that we've seen, Kevin was mentioning about Miami. Why Miami? So Miami is becoming a hub because of different industries. So we have the finance sector in Brigham. We have the transportation hub, mainly supported by the port, the airport. But also we have the health, we have the education. And lately, for the past year, the request has come from those sectors. So meetings between the dean, Antonio, and us is how we can support the evolution of those companies and those industries to increase and enhance the use of AI. So now the challenge is not just to get those IT teams or the cybersecurity team or the network team, is how we can scale up all the teams, anyone that is working in any companies, and we are partnering right now with different companies. Best possible example. And Karen, going back to the opening, is who is leading the effort? In my case, in our case, is Miami-Dade County. So we are partnering right now with Miami-Dade County because we are committed to support all the learning experience for Miami-Dade County employees. And I'm talking about those ones that are leading the parks, those ones that are leading the airport, those ones that are leading the IT department. We want to make sure that everyone knows how they can apply AI. I don't want to leave AI just for few. AI has to be a movement. Saif was mentioned that about a movement last night during the meeting, and I was thinking about it, how we can evolve for having AI available for this group of people that probably in this room, everyone knows what is AI and have used AI, but how I can make sure that the students that are coming through Miami-Dade College and studying project management, how I can incorporate AI to the curriculum, so by the time that these or any company is hiring that student is coming with the knowledge about project management, but also AI incorporated.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you so much. So now we have Pedro's perspective from the academia side. So now we're going to transition over to the industry side. Good morning, Salinas.
Good morning.
First of all, I haven't seen you in a while. The last time we saw each other, there was an AWS competition, and I'm just so proud to say that my team won. Yes, I'm still on that cloud.
Great job.
So Salinas is an enterprise account executive at AWS, and what I love about talking to you is that you love what you do, and you travel a lot, so I love that. I wanted to get your perspective on on the industry level, how are they incorporating and how are they integrating AI into the business?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm always super happy to work with you, Kevin, and the team from Miami TechWorks. So I will definitely say that companies now feel the need and the rush to get into generative AI just because in order for them to remain competitive. It's super important for them to be able to leverage this new technology and keep up with the trends. For example, in the travel and hospitality industry, improving customer experience, making sure that it helps with their sales and marketing strategy, operational efficiency, employee productivity, and that's why they use tools with cloud providers because they're able to innovate quicker and fail quick, experiment, and learn from those in order to come up with the best solution for their specific company.
Yes. Okay, this is you touched on a great point. I want to go a little bit further into cloud services. I'm going to touch on that with you too on the entrepreneurship level. But how important is knowing cloud services and being well-versed in that particular realm? What advice would you give someone who is new to tech what advice would you give them in regards to just learning cloud services with AWS or just any cloud services in particular?
Definitely in cloud computing, as you know, in AWS, we have new services coming out almost every day. So it's actually hard to keep up, but definitely the best thing to do is to be involved in workshops. We do a lot of events locally here in Miami, but more importantly, a lot of free training online, certification. It's just continuous learning. It never ends.
Okay, then my last question for you, what is your day-to-day like as an account executive?
Yeah, so I work directly with C-level executives to help them with their business strategy and how they can leverage cloud and technology as a competitive advantage. So day in, day out, I will have meeting with either the CIO, CXO, and talk about the different projects, how we can help accelerate it, and just work in partnership together.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to move on to Charles now. This is where we're going to delve into the entrepreneurship of AI. And I'm like, you're my entrepreneur brother. Like I'm a big supporter of entrepreneurship. And one thing that I love about what you do is you give seminars and workshops. And I really like that you delve deep into helping businesses think about what they need to ask to incorporate the AI. Because that's the hardest part first. Of course, we know that it's important right now. It's the hot topic, but we don't really know what's the next step. And that's something that I would like for you to talk about. How do you help startups?
The way I help startups and smaller businesses is really kind of explain to them that artificial intelligence, or AI, doesn't stand for artificial intelligence. It stands for augmented intelligence. It's a mindset, not a skill set. So when you think about how you're building your business or how you want to grow it, you want to integrate that into the strategy of what you're approaching. Why is that so important? The velocity in which concepts and ideas and terms are evolving in this space particularly is such at a fast pace, near light speed in comparison to other technical cyclicals, like NFTs and blockchains or cloud even. Okay. It's hard to keep up on every single tactical, technical technology that you want to implement. But if you can think of it from a strategy perspective and kind of stay at a high level, although the implementation details change, you can really stay on top of the trends from that perspective.
Okay, so I'm a startup, and let's say I have a database. I need help. What would be your first question?
Do you have a database and you need help?
Yes.
There's like 100 first questions I would ask. But really, the most important is, do you want to make more money or do you want to spend less money? It's a good question.
Yeah, no, that is. I want to spend less.
You want to spend less?
Yes.
So then the first area, so I basically organize companies into two halves. You have the side that tries to increase its revenues, and there's the side that wants to decrease its operational cost. So now we start to look at the data set and your systems in terms of your operations. And the beauty about AI, just to have fun with this, is yes, everyone's super excited about generative AI. I think the next wave of innovation that's going to hit even now, and we're going to be talking it from our research, is what we call context design and architecture, which is the art of integrating all your systems so that they can generate context and actually automate the process of generating work product. So using generative AI, using automated context design instead of prompt engineering.
Okay, how large should my team be? I'm a startup.
As a startup, we live in a wonderful time of convergence in technologies and frameworks. So one engineer can do the work of what would take 10 people just 10 years ago. And so what I really love about that is between all the open source frameworks and technologies that are available, all the classes and curriculum that even institutions like Miami-Dade College gives, ChatGPT will give you some teaching as well. It's an interactive experience. And solutions like, and I have to be biased, but we're a big AWS shop, so a lot of the tools that we use out of AWS really allows us to build prototypes. What used to take a week, which we thought was long, you can do in a matter of hours. And so the point is not to build things, the point is to deliver value for the business, and that's what we focus on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Pedro, you're up next. So now, Pedro, we're thinking about AI professionals and entrepreneurs. When you're working with the students, a lot of you might not know, Pedro plays a big role. Him and Antonio, they do so much for these students on the campus. I just have to tell you, just because we work in the office, I see what you do, I hear what you do. Your energy is so valuable, from helping the Swift students, the Tesla students. There's so many things here. I would want to know, what are the conversations that the students are having with you, and what are the advice that you're giving the students in regards to transitioning into tech? Sometimes we have the imposter syndrome. Sometimes we're a little nervous. What advice do you give, and what are some of the things that they're telling you?
So thank you, Kevin, for the question. So first advice is to get out. Many of the students, they want to know more. My recommendation is to participate in this meeting, to connect with you guys. Many of the students are coming to me and say, hey, Pedro, how I can get access to these people? And I said, the first one is invite those students to the events, but also to get involved in projects. How I can connect that student in a meetup, that student can immediately get the connection with Charles or get the connection with Celine. But also at the same time, we are connecting with companies that are willing to accept the students, guys, which is really important. Yes, the students can ask, and I have everyday conversation with the students, but I need the companies. We need the partnerships with the companies that are willing to accept those students that want to, as Zelene says, fail and try. But I need, and we need you guys. If we don't have you, it's really difficult if I just call Celine. Hey, I have 2 students that are doing cloud, and the only person that we know, and we know many, but we are trying to find the right partner for the right student. So right now, to another point, Kevin, we are not just receiving the questions from the students that are doing tech. In the room, we have one student that has been amazing with us, which is a business student, Nick. So last year, we were getting ready for Immerse, and we spoke with Nick, and Nick came to us being a business student, and he said to us, I'm interested in AI. So we connected Nick with a company called Entity Data. We trained Nick in how to build a model for a particular device, and Nick became the start in AI without being a tech student. How? Entity Data came to me, and we were able to make that connection. And it's not that difficult. My ask to this group is, let us know how you can support those students that we have. And we are talking about 125,000 students. Then all of them is the talent that we need. We don't want to have those students coming to Miami-Dade after going to FIU or to Berry or to UM and leaving Miami. We need those students to stay in Miami through the support that you can provide to us. My advice to the students is to stay, to put themselves out. And by the way, I said it to the students, they need to do the job. I won't do that job. And I put some pressure on them as well. I give you the opportunity, but you have to deliver. Guys, the students that connect with me, they deliver. And the students that connect with you, you most likely are going to call me back and you're going to ask me for more students. That's my only ask. I'm going to be around. Let me know if you want to work with me.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you. Thank you. Passion. So, Salinas, I'm going to close it out with you. I want to talk about the collaboration that MDC has with AWS.
Well, I'm super passionate about the partnership.
Yes.
Definitely started with Antonio Delgado and obviously Pedro. One of the things that I love about Miami-Dade College is that they're very accessible and they make it very easy for us to work with them. For example, we have the AWS Academy program where universities, institutions are able to get accredited, get their faculty trained on it, and update their curriculum according to our standards, our best practices with AWS. And Miami-Dade College really took it serious. They took it on, and they were able to update the curriculum and get students graduated. And where I came in was at the part where they needed students to get hired. And at AWS, we talk a lot about diversity, inclusivity, and we thought it was really important to make sure that those job requirements had the flexibility so we can include more students, like from Miami-Dade College. They had a 2-year degree, for example. And we were able to update that, and more importantly, we were able to demonstrate to our customers and our partners that we were hiring from Miami-Dade College because they've done the work. They've done so many great, amazing things with us that we really believe in it. So I feel like that really kind of solidified the partnership across AWS in the industry and locally in the community.
Okay, great. How many students has AWS hired from MDC? Do you have an estimate?
I have, but I'm not allowed to share that.
I wish.
But
I'm trying to create FOMO.
What I will say that I'm super proud when we have recruiting events exclusively from Miami-Dade College, the students go through the interview process, and the rate of success that they get hired is the highest that we've ever done. So they're really prepared and they've done their homework.
Thank you all so much. We reached time, and we did an excellent job. Our questions were answered, our T's were crossed, our I's were dotted. Thank you so much. Thank you.